the noise of these polls to get down to the real information that matters. So according to a new poll, Kamala Harris has a 24-point lead over Donald Trump in terms of those who made the decision of who they're going to vote for over the last month. We're talking about undecideds. You know, that group that were like, who in the hell can be undecided in today's day and age, and where are they going to fall, and all the headlines that they're the ones who are going to decide the election. Well, they're making up their minds, and they're being reached by pollsters. Where's budget? 24. Oh, it might be too early on this Saturday morning. My peoples might still be asleep. Good morning, April. I don't know if anybody's going to show up. It's kind of early. Oh, here come some people. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Good morning, everybody. Good morning from the crazy state of Florida. Can we point out Trump was 30 when, when Lincoln was president? He wasn't a kid. Yeah, we can point that out. Yeah, we can point that out. You mean Lincoln, or do you mean what's the other president name that they all love so much? I forgot his name. Reagan. Is that who you mean, or are you being funny? You being funny. Good morning, Bougie Barbie. How are you? Long time no see. If you don't know what they are talking about, Donald Trump went on to Fox News yesterday, and Fox News had little clips where kids was asking Donald Trump questions, and the kid asked Donald Trump who was his favorite president, and Donald Trump, who was his favorite president when he was a kid. And Donald Trump came back. First he said Reagan, and then he said Lincoln. Yeah, Abraham Lincoln, who was president back in the 1800s. Wasn't it the 1800s? Hey, Hibiscus Rose. Hey, Alex Marsh Adams. Good morning. Good morning. So C Fresh was like, can we point out? Basically, Donald Trump wasn't a kid when Reagan was in office. And yeah, but I think C Fresh is being funny when he says, can we point out that Trump was 30 when Lincoln was president? He wasn't a kid. Oh, thank you, Bougie Barbie. I appreciate you. You've been a long time supporter. He said Lincoln. He said Lincoln. He said Lincoln was one of his favorite presidents when he was a kid. That's how you know that man just be lying. He just be lying. Just lying. Everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie. Everything. Everything. Nothing he says is the truth. Nothing. I'm watering my little flower babies in my window right here. Nothing the man says is the truth. He confirmed it is time for a good long rest. Well, you know, that's the excuse that they are giving for all of these interviews that he's missed. He won't debate Kamala Harris for a second time. He skipped out on the 60 Minutes interview. He skipped out on an interview with CNBC. He skipped out on an interview. He was supposed to do an interview with the Shade Room. For those of you who do not know, the Shade Room is a I can't even, it's a celebrity news junket site where they share all things celebrity gossip news. And they're big. They're big, and it's predominantly in the Black community. It's Black celebrity news gossip. And so they do share political news, but it's political news with a conservative swing, right? And I don't like the Shade Room. I don't follow the Shade Room. I used to follow the Shade Room a few years back, but the Shade Room is, they're despicable. They're dangerous to our community. They spread mis and disinformation. They share and spread misogynoir. They promote foolishness and buffoonery to Black people. And yeah, I am long over the Shade Room. I have grown way out of the Shade Room. I can't do the Shade Room. So, but the Shade Room is followed by millions of people. And Donald Trump was going to do a interview with the Shade Room. The Shade Room, I believe, also did an interview with Kamala Harris. Donald Trump canceled on them, on the Shade Room. And at that point, his people, his handlers started giving the excuse that he's exhausted. He's suffering from exhaustion. And so that adds on to the questions about his fitness and his capabilities. If he were to get elected, how long can he really do the job? I did a video a couple of days ago telling y'all that I believe Donald Trump is the Heritage Foundation's Manchurian candidate. I went on and I told y'all what I thought that was going to happen if Donald Trump gets into the White House. A lot of people are talking about this. I even saw, I think it was the other 98 or Occupy Democrats. It was one of those outlets that actually posted a picture of JD Vance with this sly grin on his face and said, JD Vance is Donald Trump's Trojan horse. Because I believe the plan is, it just confirmed what I was thinking. I went the way of the Manchurian candidate. They went the way of the Trojan horse. Donald Trump gets elected into the White House. JD Vance, the Heritage Foundation, they are all using Donald Trump because Donald Trump is the one that has the following. MAGA nuts are loyal to no one but Donald Trump. Period. If JD Vance would have run for president, they weren't going to vote for him. How many people were running against Donald Trump? And he came out on top. The MAGA nuts are not going to vote for anyone except for Donald Trump. And the MAGA nuts have taken over the Republican Party. Real, sensible, logical thinking Republicans who are grounded in reality, they are not for Donald Trump. So they talked Donald Trump into choosing JD Vance as his running mate. And I believe the plan is, and Donald Trump may be in on the plan. He may be in on the plan for all I know. But the plan is to use Donald Trump because he has the supporters, he has the base. And if Donald Trump wins the presidency, he will be booted out from the presidency. They will use the 25th Amendment to say he is mentally unfit to carry out the duties of the presidency. They will boot him out. JD will advance to the presidency, and they will pardon Donald Trump. That's what I believe the plan is. Trump is old. Vivian says he didn't even resist lying to that little boy. He's a liar. He's a liar. He can't. Nothing about Donald Trump is real. I'm kind of like hanging around the house today doing, some housework, and I'm going to go see that movie, The Apprentice. Y'all know The Apprentice. The Apprentice is out, and it's a movie that is telling the story of the relationship between Roy Cohn and Donald Trump. And I hear that there are some nuggets dropped in the movie. So, yeah, I'm going to do some housework. I'm going to go check out the movie, and then I'm coming back home to relax. I don't feel like being out and about doing errands and things like that. So, that's my plan today. Joyanne says, I agree. They have JD in the wings waiting to take over. Hey, Sherry. How you doing, Sherry? Good morning. Alex, you agree? I believe that that's what the overall plan is. And JD, he is a major contributor to Project 2025. I think he wrote the foreword, or let me look it up. Let me look it up right quick. I got it on my link tree. Let's see. Why is it now? No, I'm not giving you that information. I got it somewhere else. Hold on. I got it over here in my files. Now they want you to plug in information so that they can add you to their mailing list. I don't want you sending me Jet. Wrong folder over here. Whiskey's in the building, y'all. Oh, Lord, I can't find it. Let me go over here. I must have deleted it. I'm not putting my name on their mailing list. He is a major contributor to Project 2025, as is a whole bunch of the people that are around him. They are also a part of Project 2025 or tied to the Heritage Foundation. Can y'all hear me? Hey, Ken. Because I'm just talking and looking at comments. And I remember the last time I was talking and reading comments and responding to y'all. Okay, I want to make sure I can be heard. Good morning, Ken. Betty says he's too old and mentally ill, but yet thousands, millions of people continue to follow him. That's why it is imperative that we all get out and do our part. We have to make sure. Don't pay attention to the polls. One group can say this, another group can say that. If we all get out and do our part to vote for Kamala Harris, she will win because it is more of us than it is them. Trump wants Biden back. Yeah, he's still talking about Biden coming back into the race. Biden is like, y'all wanted me out. Y'all said I was unfit. And now when you look at Donald Trump and his mental capacity or lack thereof, you can really see who the one that was really unfit. Because Biden has a speech impediment and he stumbled over his words. It is no match to what we are witnessing now with Donald Trump. Did y'all see the video clips of him at that rally? Well, it was a town hall where people were supposed to be asking him questions, and he decided he wasn't going to answer any more questions, and they were just going to listen to music, and he's up there on that stage looking like a zoned out fool. Tabulations. Sherry says we should call those, I don't have followers. I don't like to call them followers, supporters. She says we should be called the tabulations. I just call y'all my peeps. My peeps. Ken, you voted? I voted on Thursday. Yeah, I wanted to get it out of the way. Get it out of the way. Soulcology says 7 days to go. I'm voting Monday morning. That is the first day of early voting here in Tampa. I will wake up at 4 a.m. and be in line at 5 a.m. Doors open at 7. That's what I'm talking about. Soulcology says she or he, I think that's a she, looks like a beautiful woman in that picture. I ain't playing. I'm getting out and I'm making my voice heard. And I'm looking at all of the people, because I'm from Florida. I grew up in Miami, lived in South Florida for 30 years, and then I moved to Atlanta. So I'm a Miami girl. I'm a Florida girl through and through. And when I look at the villages, the people in the villages who have turned on Donald Trump, I'm just flabbergasted. The villages, that area, Central Florida, that has forever been Republican country. Forever. It has forever been Republican country. I remember, was it 2016 or was it 2020? I think it was 2020 when they was out there fighting. There's a bunch of elderly communities over in that area. The elderly, they vote. They was battling over in the villages because there was a small portion that support Democrats, but the majority of them supported Republicans. Baby, they are unified in 2024. They are unified against Donald Trump. And I'm gonna tell you why. They have been hearing Republicans talking about getting rid of entitlements. right? That's the word they use, entitlements. Entitlements to Republicans means Social Security and Medicare. And the elderly pay attention to what Republicans say, right? They pay attention, they're tuned in. And for 4 years, they have been hearing, they even had a hearing on it. Republicans talking about getting rid of Social Security and Medicare. They've been listening. That Mike guy, I forget his last name, and I forget what state he represents, where he had some type of get together with his supporters, and he boldly came out and said that they will be getting rid of Social Security and Medicare. We've seen Lindsey Graham talk about getting rid of entitlements. We've heard Donald Trump talk about getting rid of entitlements, but they use the word entitlements as if these are freebies given to the American people. There's nothing free about Social Security and Medicare. You pay into that before you get your cut from your paycheck. Social Security and Medicare gets their cut. So there's nothing free about it. And I believe that's why the people in the villages was like, oh, hell no, you won't. And then you got the women down in Florida rising up against Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis because Ron DeSantis implemented a law about divorce and no fault divorce and not having to pay alimony and all of that. Ooh, the white women was pissed. Just so you know, all of that talk Republicans are putting out there about no fault divorce, about not having to pay alimony, that is Project 2025. I told y'all, download the app Chat GPT. GPT. George Porridge Tom. Chat GPT. Download that app. When you download that app and you hear Republicans talking about certain policies, throwing certain words out there, go into Chat GPT and type in briefly describe what Project 2025 says about no fault divorce, about alimony. And ChatGPT will run all of these different sources. It will scan all of these different sources, and it will give you a brief summary of what Project 2025 has to say about alimony or no fault divorce. You don't have to read the whole document. I know it is hard for some people to read a 900-page document. I haven't read the entire document. It just so happens the parts that they talk about, I've read. Use the sources and the resources and the technology that's out there. I'm telling you, download Chat GPT and tell it to briefly describe what Project 2025 says about Trump indemnifying the police or giving the police full immunity. Tell it to briefly describe what Project 2025 has to say about abortion, about IVF. Tell it to briefly describe what Project 2025 says about mass deportation. Tell it to briefly describe what Project 2025 says about what else he talks about. Whatever he's talking about, I guarantee you, it will list all of these different avenues. And when Donald Trump gets up on camera and says to you, I don't know anything about Project 2025. Yeah, I don't have anything to do with it. Those are extremists. I don't know nothing about it. Meanwhile, everybody surrounding him is tied to Project 2025 and the Heritage Foundation. Every policy that he's talking about, all of the things that he's talking about, you can find in Project 2025, and you can find in Agenda 47, because the MAGA nuts will say Project 2025 is not his policies. His policies are Agenda 47. Well, hell, Agenda 47 is tied to Project 2025. Bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? Don't talk to me like I'm uneducated. Nothing pisses me off more when they try to play with my intelligence, because I've read it. I've read Agenda 47 and I've read most of Project 2025. It is you, MAGA nut, who has not read it. Either one. You listen to what Donald Trump tells you. Let me see what, because I'm running off at the mouth. Yes, learning to love myself. Everything that Ron DeSantis has implemented, all of the crazy laws that he's implemented, you can find it in Project 2025. All of those LGBT laws and those laws against the transgender community. Go to ChatGPT. Briefly describe what Project 2025 says about the LGBTQ community. Briefly describe what Project 2025 says about the transgender community. Briefly describe what Project 2025 says about civil rights. Briefly describe what Project 2025 says about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Briefly describe what Project 2025 says about Black history, Black people. Baby, you don't have to read the book. Just listen to what they say and then go over to ChatGPT and say, briefly describe what Project 2025 has to say about fill in the blank. Right. Briefly describe. I did a video on 4 of their favorite topics that they like to talk about: abortion, IVF, indemnifying the police, giving the police immunity, mass deportation, and what was the other one? The Department of Education. I did a video. I already did a video, and that video was to introduce you to ChatGPT. I've been using ChatGPT for a long while now, and I don't know why it just popped in my head on yesterday. I guess I used the video that he did, the video clip. That's how it started. Remember when Donald Trump went on Fox News yesterday and talked about dismantling the Department of Education, and how if teachers teach slavery, then that school system won't get any type of funding. That's what started it off for me. And I was like, oh, well, that's because when I saw the clip, I was like, that's in Project 2025. And so I said, I'm going to do a video and I'm going to talk about Chat GPT. And so it went from the Department of Education, and I included IVF and abortion. I included mass deportation, because I wanted y'all to understand that whatever they say, plug it into Chat GPT. It will provide you with the facts. It will provide you with the facts. Oh, thank you, Shara. Yeah, because I mean, a lot of people don't want to sit down and read a 900-page document, but they want to know what Project 2025 is saying. There you go. I connected it. When they talk about a subject, put that shit into Chat GPT and ask Chat GPT to briefly describe what Project 2025 says about that subject. And if it's not in Project 2025, it'll come back and say, Project 2025 doesn't say anything about this. Unfortunately, nothing that they talk about is not linked to Project 2025. I just use Project 2025 for a whole bunch of other reasons. So I've gotten a message to come back to say, yeah, this is not you won't find this here, or you won't find this there. And then from there, I'm like, well, where can I find it? Because then you can drill down on said subject. You can ask the one question and it says it's not there, and then you come back with another question. Well, would it be here? Or, well, it would be there. I use it to inquire about different legislation that they talking about implementing in Congress. How can I, what's the proper title of this certain legislation, so I could go to congress.gov to look it up. ChatGPT is a wonderful tool. Download it. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Michael. That's not Michael. That's coupons, TLG. Sorry. Oh, but in the little thing it says, no, it is Michael McKinney. Thank you. Coupon says, thank you. I've been using ChatGPT for a while. It's a great tool. Okay, I'm confusing my two. Thank you for the super chat, Michael McKinney. Hey, Jenny from Macon. How you doing? Hey, Carissa. Good morning. Thank you, Carissa. I appreciate your support. Ken says, I promise you they are ready to implement 2025 on day one. Vote against it. They are. They are. Remember what Kevin Roberts said? He was doing that interview with, I forget who the guy was. He was doing that interview, and he told us, he said, it's going to happen, and it will be as bloody as the left. Basically he was saying, if we allow them to do it, then their revolution won't be bloody. Bitch, bring it. For whatever reason, they think they are the only ones packing. I got 3 of them stashed around my house. 3 of them. 3 of them. Y'all ain't the only one packing. Thank you, NK Universe, for the super chat. Canadian friend here, vote blue. Absolutely. Thank you, Carly B, for the super chat. Wonder Boy says, can't be a fan of either party. You know what, Wonder Boy? I don't entertain people like you. You are being willfully obtuse and willfully ignorant. You are not grounded in reality. I don't entertain people like you. If you can't look at what's happening with the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, there's no reason for me to engage in any type of conversation with you. You have a great day. Have a great day. Yes, ChatGPT is going to come in a clutch while researching down ballot here in North Carolina. You can use ChatGPT. You can plug in the politician's name and ask what policies do they support? What issues do they support? Policy or issues. Find the right word. And it'll list it for you. You can do that for Kamala. Put in the ChatGPT, what positions or policies does Kamala Harris stand on? Something like that. And it'll list it. I've done that. Somebody, because we don't know a lot of things right off the top of our heads. And when I come in here talking, I don't talk about things that I don't know about. So when I come in here talking, I've got my notes. I've got things to make sure I'm providing you with the correct information. But even still, don't stop at what information I'm providing. That's why I give y'all resources. That's why I'm coming in with videos or a news article. I'm showing you where I'm getting this information. The information that I'm giving you is the starting point for you to then go on and continue your education on said subject. So when I did the video talking about all of Kamala's policies, I had a ChatGPT screen up, making sure that I'm providing you all with the correct verbiage and information. Put in ChatGPT and it'll tell you. Ask ChatGPT what her education is. It'll pull up all of her degrees, her schooling. Ask what position she's held in government. It'll list all of her positions. Shit, ask how many times Donald Trump has been sued. Ask how many times Donald Trump has has filed for bankruptcy. Ask ChatGPT Donald Trump's racist history, racist past. Baby, it'll give you bullet points. There's no reason why anyone should be out here not understanding or knowing about either candidate at the top of the ticket all the way down ballot. That's why I don't have time for people like that guy that I just booted out of the chat. I don't have time for that foolishness. Go play with somebody else. We ain't playing over here. We have fun over here, but we ain't playing. Don't play with me. Shara Thompson, thank you for the super chat. Janice says, come on, we ready. No one is scared of y'all. It's whatever y'all want to do. Come on, Janice, baby, I'm high-fiving you over here. I don't know why they think they the only ones packing, baby. And I'm sitting here thinking I might go get me a 12 gauge. Shit. Y'all ain't the only ones. Y'all are not the only ones. Play with. See, the thing about it is we don't wear that on our sleeves. That's not our identity. That's an extension of our identity, right? That is their identity. They have nothing other than that. That is what they use to make them feel big and bad, right? Thank you, Dolores Walker. It's not our identity. Just like being a Trump supporter, a MAGA nut, that's their identity. If Donald Trump loses, a whole lot of people are going to truly be lost because it's over. It will be completely over for Donald Trump. There will be nothing left but him to fade away into obscurity. And then they will be completely lost because their whole entire identity is wrapped up into Donald Trump. They are nothing without him, which is the reason why I'm like, there's going to be problems if Kamala Harris wins or if Kamala Harris loses. I want her to win, period. We can deal with whatever. We can deal with whatever. And if Donald Trump wins, baby, for me, it would be it would be completely devastating because I'm telling you, it's gonna be hell. It's gonna be hell. It will be bloody. It will be, because a lot of people are not going back. They refuse to go back, and it's just gonna be a problem, and it's gonna be a problem if Donald Trump doesn't win. Somebody put a comment underneath one of my videos yesterday and said, Tabitha, I've been following you for a year, and I don't understand why we're still trying to encourage and push people to do the right thing. Baby, I will continue to try to push people to do the right thing until November 5th. And then on November 5th, none of this ends. None of this ends. A whole new cycle will begin. A whole new cycle will begin. Mr. Bray says, I can't believe that Caucasian women are criticizing how Black men vote. They should be they should be the last ones talking. Baby, 53% of them vote against their own interests. 53% of them. Hey, Katrina, I didn't see you come in. Good morning. That man got these people mind so warped. Baby, when I tell you, it's going to be some truly lost people. Donald Trump wins and they boot him out. They boot him out because of the 25th Amendment, baby. Rich Agrillo says, yes, a new cycle will begin, but who will be their leader? There is always, look, there's so many willing to step into that role. Who will it be? I don't know. I don't know. JD Vance, Ron DeSantis, Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley. There's so many willing. Nikki Haley, there's so many willing to step into that role. That's why I say it doesn't end. It won't end. It's going to take a few cycles of us squashing them. It's going to take a few cycles of us coming out on top. It won't end. The battle will continue. Thank you, Hibiscus Rose, for the super chat. Donna Whitaker says, voted straight blue, and my mail-in ballot was accepted here in Colorado. Justica says, willing, they begging, baby. There is somebody waiting, wanting to be the top fascist. It's going to take a few cycles, which is why a lot of people who are trying to educate, going back and forth with the people on the far left, so far left that they are now merging with the right. They're trying to get them to understand Rome wasn't built in a day. Yeah, we won in 2020. Joe Biden won the presidency, but you can see for the past 4 years, it's been a fucking battle. It's been a battle for 4 years. It's been a battle. Donald Trump over here doing what it is he does. And if Kamala Harris wins in 2024, it's going to continue to be a battle. It's going to take a few cycles of us putting our foot down, making our voice heard, that no, this is not what we want. We live in a democracy. We don't want rights taken away. We don't want our politicians trying to control our lives. We don't want our politicians colluding with billionaires. We don't want that. We want government to work for the people. And if you are not about that, then we don't want you as our politicians. It's going to take us doing that, standing on that for a few more cycles. It doesn't end in 2024. This is a battle. We got a long road ahead. Right, Vindictive Tiger, for the foreseeable future, we're going to have to send this blue tsunami until they understand what's up. The Republican Party, for them to get to this point, they've been planning and fighting for decades. They've been losing for decades. It's been a battle for them for decades. And so when Donald Trump got into office, that's when they finally started to win. They had their puppet. That's what's brought them to this, where we are now. They didn't quit 10 years ago. No, they licked their wounds. They got together. They continued the plan. They brainstormed and they moved forward. And we have now got to do the same. Women are dying because of their foolishness. And now he's talking about dismantling the Department of Education and sending it back to the states. Yeah, like that worked so well for abortion. Women are dying. They overturned Roe v. Wade and said, let the states handle it. And the states are handling it. And women are dying needlessly. Andrew Mack, that's exactly what's happening. I mean, I swear the people who call themselves leftists, people who say they are on the left, right? To me, when I see them ranting and raving, they sound like MAGA nuts. Straight up MAGA nuts to me. Exactly. Anti-heroin, just hit it on the head. If Donald Trump gets back into the, for them, they are 100% trying to secure the Supreme Court, right? If Donald Trump gets another 4 years, Justice Alito will retire and Clarence Thomas will retire. And Donald Trump will put 2 more Supreme Court justices on the Supreme Court. And you know they will be young MAGA nut justices. And that will lock up the Supreme Court for decades. Decades. He did an interview the other day and they asked him about putting in judges. And it was taught, the question was in the form of, whether the judges will be young or old. Donald Trump said, of course, they'll be young. It would be stupid to put, I think he did that interview with, was it Bloomberg News? The interview where the man was reading him his rights. If I can find it, I'll do a quick video on it and show it and show y'all. But the guy, he told the guy, he was like, absolutely, you don't put in old justices. That's stupid. You put in young ones, and the guy was like, well, you're old. I forget what interview that was. So he's already basically stated that whoever he puts in would be young. Trump said if he is voted in, we will never have to vote again because, yeah. The plan is to fix it so that some of us can't vote. This is why they are implementing all of these voter suppression laws. Kay is advising people to do some phone banking for Senate races. Now that's not my zhuzh. I don't want to talk to people. I'm not going canvassing. I'm not doing that. I did the postcard ministry. I signed up for the postcard ministry. Now it's too late for the postcard ministry because I think another round goes out on the 24th. My round went out on the 15th. And there's a follow-up round that goes out on the 24th. But yeah, you can do phone banking. If you're not an introvert like I am, you can do phone banking. You can do neighborhood canvassing. Yeah, the level of my introvertedness is not going to allow me to do that. So I went a different route. Vindictive Tiger says my ministry is to keep them honest on social media. Yes. If you got the chutzpah to go around and deal with these MAGA nuts, somebody's got to do it. Everybody plays a role in any well-organized organization. Everybody plays a role. I mean, look at the Republican. Everybody's playing a role. You got the MAGA nut senators, the MAGA nut representatives up in the House and the Senate. You got the MAGA nut in charge. You got the MAGA nuts out on social media. Everybody's playing a role. Everybody's playing a role. The political gamer. I'm an introvert. What you mean how? What you mean how? Just because I come in from the comfort and the safety of my own home and talk on camera doesn't mean that I am this way outside of this camera. I am not. And as my therapist puts it, there are levels to this. So some introverts can spark up a conversation out there. Most of them will not. They're not going to talk to strangers. Most introverts will not talk to strangers. But I'm secure here in my home, in my own personal safe space. So I can do this. This is my level. He was on Bloomberg News. Thank you, Cool Breeze. I knew, baby, the Bloomberg. See, get off my stuff, Whiskey. Don't try me. Get in your bed. Get in your bed. No. Get in your bed. Leanne, oh yeah. I'm not talking to strangers. I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing none of that. I ain't doing none of that. Thank you, Tanya. Yep. There's a lot of introverts who couldn't do what I do. That me and my boss was talking about this the other day because he knows that I am a content creator, and he's also an introvert. And so we were talking about it. Now, what he does, going out and speaking in front of groups of people and having to deliver speeches and having to mingle with people at business meetings and things like that. He's okay with that. I could never, ever. And he's like, well, you see what you do with your content creation. He says he could never. He couldn't. And then he asked me, well, because he's like, you should do a podcast where you could interview people. I said, I can't do that. I can't do that. He was like, really? No, I don't want to be interviewed by anybody, and I'm not going to interview anybody. I can't do that. So there's levels. There's different tolerable things that introverts can deal with. And we were just fascinated at what he could do versus what I couldn't do. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, I don't want to go to meetings where there are strange people. I don't want to. I'm not. Yeah. Anita Washington or Anita Washington. Yeah. Nope. Cherie says, I can talk to strangers, but I couldn't do what either. See? So yeah, don't put introverts in a box. The common theme with introverts is they don't like to talk to strangers. How that looks for different for introverts could be different amongst introverts. Did that make sense? Anita said, oh, you married an extrovert? Lord, I mean, I guess that balances the two of you out and makes you a whole. Because then the extrovert always want to be out amongst people, always wants to be friendly to people, spark up conversations with people, baby. And then people look at you like you stuck up or something like that. And it's just, that's not the case at all. That's not the case at all. Ken says, Tabitha, you know I've been practicing You have? Oh, Ken, but you're not an introvert. I don't think you're an introvert. Are you an introvert, Ken? You don't strike me as an introvert. Because I see you out there on social media. I see you at your different events. You ain't no introvert. Yeah, Ken, you ain't no introvert. And listen, when introverts have to be amongst people, when they have to interact with people, when I have no choice and I have to be around people and spark up conversations with strangers, I'm totally drained when it's all over. I seriously have to go back home and be in my safe space and just recharge. I am totally drained, totally drained. Having to go into the office and my people at the office, we know each other. We've been together for years, but it's still, I have to go out. I have to be interactive. I have to engage with other people. That's draining for me. So when I get back home, I take my shower, I'll have something to eat, and I am in the bed trying to recharge. Hibiscus Rose says it's draining. So people understand that level. Yeah, Bedazzled is petrified if she has to go to parties. I get invited to get-togethers. For a long time, I would go once I got invited because I don't want to disappoint the person, because the person is inviting me. And I hated it. It's not that I hated the people. It's not that I hated the person that invited me. I just was so uncomfortable. It's unnerving. And I finally got to, my therapist was like, well, why are you doing that to yourself? Don't go. And I was like, yeah, why am I doing that to myself? And so I literally started to explain to people that I am an introvert. I'm not doing it. Mm-mm. I can't do it. Mm-mm. Hey, Simply Kiwi. I'm not doing it. Mm-mm. I'm not going to do it. I stopped doing it to myself. I get invited to do collabs. I get invited to do podcasts. I can't do it. And I'm not going to force myself to do it. So that's why this one woman show, and I'm not doing it to slight other people. It's just the level of anxiety that I get. I can't do it. I can't do it. And I don't talk about it often. I don't talk about it at all. This is maybe the first or second time that I freely talked about my introvertedness and my anxiety. I'm not gonna do it. So yeah, this one woman show will be a one woman show. Mm-hmm. Anita says she ain't going out for the next 3 days. And I just want people to understand that introverts are not stuck up. They ain't, that's not the case at all. They ain't funny acting or anything like that. It's just a whole different personality tied or coupled together with a level of anxiety. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I view it. The CCI radio show. My husband and I wanted to invite you to be I appreciate y'all. I really do. I really, really do. But yeah, I can't do it. I can't. It is so unnerving. It really is. Marnie says they are an empath. So you take on other people's feelings. Sometimes that happens to me. I can tell because our office, when I have to go in the office, our office is a small office, right? And there's 4 of us in the office. And I sit here and my girl sits over here. And she don't have to say a word. But I will start feeling her feelings. That's how close we are in the office. And if I start feeling a certain kind of way, if I'm feeling heavy or if I'm feeling sort of depressed, I will have to ask her, You all right? And she'll start telling me, and I'll be like, oh, okay. That's why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. Doesn't happen a lot. It's when I'm in this close proximity to other people. Right, Andrew Mack, we're not antisocial. We're not antisocial. Hey, Lady D. So don't call us stuck up. Don't call us those things. We are not. It's a level of anxiety that we are dealing with. It's Marnie says I knew it. Yeah, yeah, and I believe that's why when I'm around people for an extended amount of time, I have to come. When I say I come home and lights are off, everything is off, and I'm just completely shut down, trying to recharge. And doing videos longer than a certain amount of minutes, that can be draining for me as well. Like, I'm gonna have to recharge after this live. I'm going to have to recharge after this live. I have plans to go to the movies. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. It might have to be tomorrow. Amy says they did 200 postcards and letters for the same reason. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It can be overwhelming. Love Win says I can't do it either, Tabitha, because with the way my mouth is set up, I'm not responsible for my actions. So, okay, y'all listen to me. They know Trump time is limited. That's why they want. Oh yeah, Katrina, we talked about that a little bit earlier. I said that the plan is they are using Trump. They are using Trump. The goal is to get JD Vance into the presidency. I used the example of the Manchurian candidate, and I saw somebody else using um, the scenario of the Trojan horse. JD Vance is the Trojan horse. And for me, Donald Trump is the Manchurian candidate. He's the Manchurian candidate because they are using him to get to the presidency. Without Trump, they can't get there because Trump is the one with the base, the MAGA nuts. They solely support Trump, right? And so, how can they get to the presidency? Get JD Vance in as the vice president, right? And so, if Donald Trump wins, they will then start to make him look crazy, right? They will start to truly question his mental fitness, his mental capacity to do the job. And then they will boot him out using the 25th Amendment. That's the right amendment, right? The 25th Amendment. They will boot him out, and JD Vance will ascend to the presidency. That's what I believe the plan is. And I also told y'all that JD Vance is a contributor to Project 2025. He's tied to the Heritage Foundation, as is everybody else surrounding Trump. Love Win says, Tabitha, I am an actor, and what I will tell you is most actors are introverts. Also, I believe it. I believe it because take Summer Walker. She's not a an actress. She's she's a rapper, right? Rapper, singer. She's an introvert, and her level of anxiety can be very debilitating for her because when she first came out, it was difficult for her to do performances because of her level of anxiety in being in front of people around large crowds. Remember, they were talking trash about her not being able to do meet and greets. Remember, I don't know if y'all know who Summer Walker is. But Summer Walker, she's a rapper singer. She's very popular, but yeah, she couldn't do meet and greets because of her introvertedness and her level of anxiety. It was, I remember she had a problem when she agreed to do like an award presentation at one of the award shows, and she was stiff as a board, probably because she was fucking petrified. And people talked about that girl so bad, and I felt so bad for her because I completely understood. As an introvert, I completely understood. Now I think she's gotten better. She probably is also on some type of medication. She's gotten better, but yeah. You remember that, Ken? Yeah. Mm-hmm. This thing is real. It's not antisocial. It's not stuck up. It's not those things. Think of it as an extreme level of anxiety when having to be around other people. Yeah, Ken. I, I don't watch award shows. I didn't see the award shows. I saw the clips because she was trending and people was talking trash about her because she was trying to present this award and she was just stoned. She was stiff. She was scared. Like a deer in the headlights, and the people were just talking about her. Thank you, Kit Kat. Kimberly Bowen says JD Vance can be controlled. He can be controlled, especially in this instance, because he's fully on board. He's fully on board, right? What did somebody say something about Don Lemon? Hold on, I can't. What happened? The comment went away. Oh, the comment went away. Let me see. Is this it? No. The comment went away. Somebody said something about Don Lemon. She did, Ken, because she couldn't. She did quit music for a while because, I mean, in order to expand your brand in the field that she's in, I think you have to do like meet and greets, and um you got to do concerts, performances. You have to be able to do those things. You have to be able to do those things. So, but I truly felt bad for her because I understood what she was dealing with. Shawn Mendes has switched to only performing in small venues. He said the big stadiums messed with his anxiety and mental health. This thing is real. It's real. So yeah, I believe that I'm able to do what I do because me and my therapist kind of like came to this conclusion. It's because I am in my safe space. I am in my home, and yeah, I can do this level. But if you want me to do what I do with other people that I don't know, with in strange areas and yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Marnie Friedman, exactly. I mentioned that earlier, that the Heritage Foundation and Republicans, they've been at this for decades. I mean, the Heritage Foundation implemented a very similar policy at that time, to Ronald Reagan. And they were very disappointed when Ronald Reagan didn't implement their said policies, right? So they've been at this for a while. They didn't quit because they lost 20, 30 years ago. They didn't quit. I said they went back, they licked their wounds, they started talking and brainstorming. Well, what can we do, and how are we going to do this? And I believe that's how the Tea Party came about. And then from the Tea Party, we're here. They've slowly implemented things across the years, got certain people into certain positions. I believe putting Clarence Thomas on the Supreme Court way back when was one of their moves. And they just built upon each move from there. Rome was not built in a day. And so for all of these leftists who are looking for a resolution, that are looking for the rainbow, right now, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We got several more battles. Annie says, let me look at, because I don't know what that is. I don't share information that I don't know nothing about. So let me take a quick look. See, Ann or Annie. Opus DEI. And it's, you know what, Opus DEI. Okay, so Annie's telling me to ask you all to look up Opus DEI. And just reading a quick couple of sentences about it, it kind of reminds me of Manifest Destiny. The Seven Mountains Mandate. It's like all of these different Christian organizations are trying to infiltrate politics in some way, shape, or form. And Opus DEI, which is through the Catholic Church, has its own. Okay, yeah, y'all can look this up. Y'all can look this up. But it just seems like it's another Christian. Opus DEI, Work of God, is an institution of the Catholic Church that, by a purported divine inspiration, was founded in Spain in 1928 by Catholic priest Jose Maria Escriva. Is its own stated mission is to help its lay and clerical members to seek Christian perfection in their everyday occupations and within their societies. So when you look this up, look up the Seven Mountains Mandate. This is along those same lines. This is how these different Christian ideologies, organizations want to control society. So if once you look up Opus DEI, look up Manifest Destiny, and then look up the Seven Mountains Mandate. They're all separate with the same end goal. Put that in the chat GPT. Download chat GPT and tell chat GPT to briefly describe Opus DEI, then tell it to describe the Seven Mountains Mandate, and then tell it to describe Manifest Destiny. Oh, Day, it's pronounced Day. Opus Dei has influenced the Supreme Court. I believe it's more than just Opus Dei. I believe the Seven Mountains Mandate also has influence on the Supreme Court. And I believe the people who are putting these individuals on the Supreme Court, and their beliefs derives from manifest destiny. Does that make sense? Anne? I think that was Anne who told me to do that. And manifest destiny talks about how white people in this country, this land is destined to be their land, their promises for happiness and wealth on this land. We aren't to have that. I believe all of these different ideologies are what brought us to where we are. Yeah, fascism. We all know there are Christian nationalism is a form of white supremacy. It's all tied together, if you ask me. Okay, says Christo-fascism. It's all, yeah. Yeah. Katrina says, no offense to any Catholics in the chat, but the Catholic Church is a hot mess and has so many allegations. Didn't I just see something about an $80 million something that they have to pay? But that doesn't mean that they still don't have these ideologies, and it doesn't mean that all Catholics have this ideology. You know what I'm saying? Kim Butler says Jimmy Carter has stated that he will stay around until VP Harris is elected. I'm glad he got to vote for her. Yes, he got to vote for her the first day of early voting here in Georgia. And I believe, hey, Ken, did you see I don't know if you're still in the chat, did you see the updated total for early voting here in Georgia? I saw it this morning. 1.1 million people have early voted in the first 4 days here in Georgia. Oh, it's $800 million. Mm, mm. So they got to pay out $1 billion. I hope everybody who's due gets every last red cent. The Heritage Foundation, the Federalist Society, Christian nationalism, it's all tied, I believe, to Manifest Destiny and the Seven Mountains Mandate. Yeah, today is, I believe you can early vote today here in Georgia. I got the schedule. Hold on. So, Georgians in the chat, yes, you can vote early at an early voting location near you today. You can vote early tomorrow tomorrow it would be select early voting locations. So make sure you research to see if the early voting location near you is going to be doing it tomorrow. And then the next Saturday and Sunday would be the 26th and the 27th. Early voting ends November 1st. If voter registration is still happening in your county, your state, make sure you're still checking your voter registration to make sure that you are active. Now that early voting has started in several different states, they might try to do an okey doke. They might think you ain't paying attention and you end up purged from the voter rolls. So continue to check to make sure that your registration is active until you step into that voting booth. Okay? Okay, let me get back to my house cleaning. I enjoyed this chat with y'all. I appreciate y'all. Hey, Queen Neffy. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me this morning. Georgia has been on a roll. Please get out and vote. Get out and cast your vote for Kamala Harris and make sure you vote blue down. Oh, my little thing fell. Make sure you vote blue down ballot. MHS is adding to the Opus Day conversation and is letting us know that it's very conservative and it's to the far, far right. So when you remember Opus Day, and day is spelled DEI, child. I was calling it DEI. Opus Day, have ChatGPT look that up for you. Manifest Destiny, have ChatGPT look that up for you. And the Seven Mountains Mandate. And that will let you know what the Heritage Foundation and Republicans have in store for the rest of us. When people say that they are trying to make our society the Handmaid's Tale, they are not lying. They are not lying. It's not people being imaginary. It's not any of that. When you connect these dots, you will be clear and you will be terrified, and it will light fire under you if you truly care about our society and our way of life. If you truly care about how we live in this country, you will get out and vote, and you will get out and vote for Kamala Harris. If you are talking about both parties are the same, I don't want to hear shit else from you. If you are still telling me that you are sitting on the fence and you don't know who you are voting for, I really don't want to hear shit from you because I can't take you seriously. If you are saying that, then you are uneducated. If you are saying that, then you are looking for a debate, and I don't have that type of energy or time. I don't. I'm just going to block you because I'm not playing. I'm not here to play. I'm not playing. Okay? Okay, I love y'all. Y'all be safe because, crazy gone crazy. I'll see y'all later.